Queridos amigos, muy buenos días. Gracias por estar con nosotros en su programa Café con Leche, la voz de los latinos en América. Estamos transmitiendo desde Hermosa 1470 AM, 96.9 FM y también a través de Facebook Live. Les habla Lilia Galindo y me acompaña este jornalista, periodista, escribe en varios periódicos de California, Thomas Elias. Él es también un analista político y el día de hoy vamos a hablar de un tema muy importante que es los precios de la gasolina. Good morning, how are you?
Muy bien. ¿Cómo
Muy,
está?
muy bien también. Okay, tell us a little bit. You know, we are so concerned with the prices in the gas. Yesterday I went to put gas and it was like, and I went to Costco and it was not so expensive, but still, like I pay like $60 for my little car that I usually pay 45.
Oh, that's a lot of money. What did they want per gallon at Costco?
Oh, I can't remember exactly, but it's like four something. Do you remember? No, I can't remember. I
If
can't.
it's in the fours, it's very low. And it might be worth standing in the line at Costco. I don't
Oh
usually
yeah.
go to Costco because of the line. But where I bought gas, day before yesterday, I bought gas for $5.60. $5.59.9. They said that's $5.60. But there's a station in Brentwood which is charging $7.99, $8 a gallon. Right now, that's the most expensive gasoline in town. But we have to ask ourselves why, when only 3% of our oil comes from Russia, and that's all that's been stopped. One of the main reasons I'm absolutely convinced, and we have information from prior instances of gas price spikes, but the oil companies are they see an opportunity to make a lot of money. Every time we have one of these gasoline price spikes, they say it's some outside reason. They say it's something about repairing their refineries, or it's something about supplies aren't coming in the amounts they need. But there's always some excuse. But then when you look at their bottom line for the quarter where this happened, they've always made record profit. I've written about this before. We have no controls on the oil company. They decide what they're going to charge us. And I think there's a kind of crookedness here, and President Biden alluded to that the other day when he said that the government won't tolerate price gouging right now when we're not letting the Russian oil in. But remember, the Russian oil is 3% of what we use. It's very, very little.
Tom, but I saw the international price of the oil in 124 the barrel like 3 days ago. So
Yeah,
also has,
who says that? You're looking at Saudi Arabia and these other crooked countries. And every time there's any excuse to raise the price of oil, they do it. It's absolutely a disgrace. So one thing that Biden needs to do is he's already released about 3 million barrels of oil from the National Strategic Reserve, but he needs to release much more. He needs to double what he's done, to put some more gasoline on the market and some more oil on the market, so that the quantity drives the price down. But don't go feeling sorry for these oil companies. I'm telling you, every time we have something like this, they make record profits. There's no question about it.
Okay, let me translate. Bueno, estamos hablando de los precios de la gasolina. Le decía yo que ayer tuve la oportunidad de poner gasolina y el precio que pagué fue excesivo. Ya no me acuerdo si era los altos 4 o ya era como 4 y pico, pero dice, lo que pasa, dice, aquí en esta área se han visto gasolineras vendiendo hasta 7.99, es lo más alto que ha habido, y 5 y 60 para arriba. Muchos, dice, y muchos han incrementado los precios abusivamente, y dice, y el problema de lo que está pasando en Rusia solamente o sea, la relación con Rusia con lo que respecta al petróleo es solamente de 3% lo que se obtiene de Rusia. Así es que lo que yo veo es un abuso de las compañías que producen gasolina, lo toman como oportunidad y siempre que sucede algo así, de inmediato incrementan los precios y lo puedes ver porque en esos tiempos sus ganancias son récord, muchísimo más que ninguna otra. También le estaba yo hablando del incremento de los precios del petróleo, pero le digo, bueno, pero yo acabo de ver los precios del petróleo, el barril a $124 hace poquito. Dice, sí, bueno, pues Arabia del Sur, dice, todos estos países se aprovechan cualquier incidente que pasa y de inmediato suben los precios. Y afortunadamente el presidente Biden ya liberó parte de las reservas para que vayan al mercado y puedan estabilizar los precios. Do you think that all this situation is created to affect Biden? Because many people, even though we are not so bad in economics, because we have received a lot of support from the federal, state, and local government in many areas, still the gas and the price increases in the market, but that is still it's affecting us, but not as much as 10 years in the 2008-10 crisis, recession.
That's true. If you factor in inflation since 2008, the prices were higher then on the gasoline, and the oil companies. I'm talking about companies like Tesoro, Phillips 66. These companies have been making record profits every time there was a spike like this. They did it then. I've been studying this for 50 years. I've been writing, and I've exposed it time after time when they gouged the people. And never once has any company claimed that I reported it wrong. All they did is say nothing. Because if they say nothing, I have no power. I'm not a legislator. Meanwhile, our state legislature, whose members take money from the oil companies for their campaigns, they don't do anything about this. Nothing.
Bueno, estamos hablando, amigos, de lo que está sucediendo, porque siempre en estas crisis le estaba yo comentando que a pesar de que hemos recibido estos incrementos de precio en la gasolina, en lo que vamos al mercado y todo, la situación no es tan dramática como fue en la recesión del 2008 y 2010, porque en ese entonces de verdad estábamos sufriendo de muchas carencias. En este momento hemos recibido tanto apoyo que aunque es difícil no es tan dramático como en el pasado. Dice, sí, yo he estado analizando todo y dice, y en los años desde el 2008 era lo que estaba pasando, los precios eran mucho más altos y la situación era mucho más grave. Y dice, pero mientras tanto aquí yo lo que veo son las grandes compañías, cómo se aprovechan, y he estado analizando esto por 50 años y veo cómo sus ganancias van a los cielos durante estos tiempos. Y nadie dice nada. Y ellos no dicen, dice, yo he estado publicando cómo abusan y cuántos son sus ganancias, pero nadie dice nada porque, dice, yo no tengo ningún poder porque no estoy legislando, ¿verdad? Dice, pero nuestros legisladores del Estado reciben dinero para sus campañas y por eso se quedan callados también. Okay, you can continue now, please.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is we need to regulate these oil companies. We need to make sure that they don't go. And when President Biden said that the government won't tolerate price gouging by the oil companies right now, there's no mechanism to enforce that. It's just empty saber rattling when he does that. He can't do anything about it because the Congress has never passed a law that gives the government the power to regulate the oil companies, except when we're at war, and we're certainly not at war right now. And
it's going to affect the election. The election do you think that is going to affect the election because everybody sees that Biden is responsible?
Well, Trump is already trying is already trying to make it affect you. Trump is running on saying that if I were still president, none of this would have happened. And of course, the reason why is because he would have let Putin do whatever he wanted, since that's what he always did while he was president. Anything Putin wanted, Putin got from Trump. And so yeah, no reason to go to war if you're given something that you demand. Um, and so Trump will try and do this. The Republicans are already trying to take advantage of this. And when Biden warned the people that we would have to pay some price for helping out the Ukraine and these sanctions, he still can't control what the oil companies are going to do. And this behavior right now is more outrageous than ever been. This is the worst oil companies have ever behaved. And they're notorious. And they've done it for a long time. They're notorious for behaving badly whenever there's a crisis.
If they reduce the tax in the gas right now, shouldn't be good in the state level and in the federal level?
I wrote a column that's not in the Antelope Valley Press, I'm not sure, but it's appeared in other places, saying that Governor Newsom's proposal to eliminate 50% of the state gas tax, that should go through. But the leaders, the Democratic leaders in the legislature, Tony Atkins, State Senate, and Anthony Rendon, Speaker of the Assembly, they don't want to do that because they're paid by the building trades. Their campaigns are paid by the building trades in large part, and they think that if we don't collect this gas tax, then they won't use any of the state's budget surplus to make up for it, and therefore there won't be as many bridges built and there won't be as many jobs for building trades workers. That at least is what they said. So Newsom came up with another idea to get around that, sending a check back to people, another check. The state has sent out several checks in the last 2 years because of COVID. And now that he's proposing sending another one out because of the gasoline and food inflation to help people a little bit. And the state has the money, they could do that. But I'm telling you that the political move for Newsom, a check from the state is not as powerful as all those signs by the street that say gasoline is over $6 a gallon. I'm telling you, it will not help Newsom as much to send out a check as it would to drug.
Bueno, estamos hablando, le digo que si habrá la posibilidad de que para reducir los problemas se pueden quitar los impuestos, que se habían propuesto. Dice, no, escribí una columna acerca de eso, que se oponen los dos líderes aquí del estado en el Senado y en la Asamblea a que eso ocurra. Y el gobernador Newsom estaba tratando de reducir esos 50 centavos, pero no se aceptó. Entonces él está otra vez proponiendo enviar más dinero directamente a las personas en California, dice, porque tiene un superávit ahorita de su presupuesto, y eso puede ayudar a que las personas se sientan un poco mejor con respecto a lo que los precios en la gasolina y los precios en todos los demás insumos. Are we going? Okay. We are out of time. Tom, thank you so much for being with us. It was a pleasure to.
Thank you very much, and I'm just telling the audience, telling you folks that are listening, the oil companies are cheating us right now. So look for the cheapest gasoline you can find, even if you have to drive a little extra to find it. Okay. Thank you, Elias.
Dice que las compañías de petróleo nos están haciendo trampa y que se procuren buscar lo más barato, no importa si tienen que desplazarse por bastante tiempo. Thank you very much, Tom. Have a nice day. Hasta la vista. Bye bye. Bueno, pues amigos, fue un verdadero placer. Les agradezco mucho que hayan estado con nosotros esta mañana y los esperamos nuevamente pronto